time alone and how important actually, time alone is. Time alone makes you see, first of all, who God is. Second of all, it lets you see who you are. And the third thing, it lets you see what will fit you, what will fit in your life. You need time alone to discover these things. And some people fight being alone. They fight being alone. They fight being single. They don't enjoy it. They just anything. Just invite anybody over. You invite people over you don't even like. Just come on over, girl. Come on over. Let's just hang out because you're afraid of being alone and you're avoid of thinking. Time alone is important. Time alone gives you, first of all, God discovery. You begin to understand who God is. You cannot understand who God is in a crowd. And Jacob was left alone with God, and God called Abraham alone, and Moses went to the backside of the mountain and was alone. It's always when you're alone when God reveals himself. God didn't show himself to the Virgin Mary while she was in the crowd shopping with her girlfriends. When the angel showed up and said, Mary, you're favored amongst women, you're going to have Jesus. She was by herself. Whenever anything significantly happens to you in a spiritual capacity, it happens when you are alone. Can God get you by yourself? Or is your life so cluttered with people and things that you're chasing and objects that sometimes people put on you, but sometimes you put it on yourself because you're fighting from being alone. And now you got a crowd, and now you don't know who God is. Number two, you don't know who you are. Okay? In order to have self-discovery, you have to have privacy. You need moments of reflection. Christians don't use this term too much, but I like this term, meditation. Not levitation, meditation. There's a difference. I used to always spend time by myself, visualizing, thinking, simple meditation, just a calm, quiet place of reflection on your life. I tell people all the time, if you went through that relationship, why snatch somebody else up? Spend a little period to figure out what happened the first time. We know what happened to him so that you don't go into the repeating thing over and over in the same trouble in your life over and over again. Oh no, I can't be alone. You need to be alone. Not to figure out, you already know what was wrong with him, her. That's why you broke up. But have you figured out your contribution in the conflict? Because you did contribute something to the problem that you're in right now. And you need time alone to do that. And we do not take time alone to do that. In fact, we purposely go out and get things to fill out the gaps in your life until you don't have anything else to do except the busy. You gotta go, gotta make that money, gotta get to the gym, gotta train, gotta do cardio. And you're never alone. And you don't know who God is. And you don't know who you are. And it makes you not a suitable helpmate for anyone else. Because if you can't make time for you, warning, you won't make time for anyone else or me. Got that? Time alone, again, will make you see, first of all, who God is. Second of all, who you are. And the third thing, it lets you see what will fit you. What's suitable for your life. Where is your sweet spot? What works for you? Read this quote?
I have not yet.
This is the quote that I've lived my whole life out.
It's in Bruce Lee's quote.
Exactly. It's here. It's in my house. I have this thing everywhere because you might as well be dead. Seriously, if you always put limits on what you can do, physical or anything else, it'll spread over into the rest of your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus. A man must constantly exceed his level.
I fucking love that.
Isn't that badass?
That's sick.
It's the truth when you think about it. You want to get up every day and try to be better than you were yesterday in business and life.
My name is Conor McGregor and I live in Lucan.
And what's your status or what's your professionalism?
I'm a professional MMA fighter with a record of 4-1. I'm an up-and-coming fighter, and without a doubt you will see me on the UFC in the near future, without a doubt.
You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be. Do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose. And I've always had visions of better. I've always visualized better. And in times of struggle, like driving down in a banger of a car that I had to push start, I'd be still driving a soft top Bentley around beautiful California in my head. And lo and behold, now I am driving a beautiful soft top Bentley around California. So I always visualized good things. I always visualized victory, success, abundance. I visualized it all, and it's all happening.
All that matters is how you see yourself. If you see yourself as the king, you know what I mean? You see yourself with all the belts and all everything. And no matter what no one else says, as long as you see that and really believe in it, then that's what's going to happen. Who can tell you otherwise? Who says what way you see things? Who says what you see out of your eyes? I saw myself in that light. I saw myself as the number one. You know, I saw myself as the champion.
Yeah, I don't just knock them out. I picked around, John. Yeah, I said this. I'm sure you are probably all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. You are probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again. And I done what I said I was going to do. I feed off this. I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm going to do something. Putting it out there for the world to see, and then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that. And it's as easy as that. Say what you're going to do and go and do it.
I knew I was going to be the person to bring martial arts to the public eye. And now it's happening. You know what I mean? There's two things I've learned from these past 7 months. Number one is that hard work pays off. And number two is that dreams come true. And that's what's happening.
It's a beautiful feeling when preparation meets opportunity. You know, nothing is impossible. You know what I mean? You can achieve anything. I'm going to continue going on this journey, and if the title shot is next, I will take it. If not, at the end of the day, I already feel like that is mine. I already feel like that belt is mine. So eventually, one by one, I will get every single one of them until there is no one left, and then I will decide what to do from there. But the belt is already mine, I feel.
That's how I see myself. I visualize myself already there. I visualized everything. I visualized this conversation. I visualized the walkout. I visualized everything going on. I know I have shots picked out that I'm going to throw in this fight in 5 weeks. You know what I mean? I've seen everything in my head, and now it's going to happen. You see it in your head, you're going to see it before your eyes. That's what I say.
I said his right hand would get him into trouble. It's the shot I predicted. I said he'd overload on his right hand. I said I'd slip. I said I'd bang the left hook, and that's what happened.
How do you do that? How do you predict these
if
things?
you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen. So I see these shots, I see these sequences, and I don't shy away from them. A lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction, and it will become reality.
Conor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in. All you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it. You called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything. So that's where I am right now.
You have a clear, if you have a clear picture in your head of something is going to happen, and a clear belief in that it will happen no matter what.
There's another thing. What do you want to be? You know, I don't want to be anything. I am what I am everything I want to be. You know, I'm already there. You know, I don't want anything. You know, people say like, I want this. I want to do this and I want to do that. But the vibe you're putting out is want. They're always gonna want. You know, I always have the attitude that I have. And I always felt like I was a black belt walking in. You know what I mean? I always felt like I was the world champion. I always felt like I already could do everything. I was only telling you about the surfing the other day. I was got the rental, walking around like I was a fucking pro. You know what I mean? But I don't want anything. I have everything. That's a mindset on me. I have everything. I have everything. You know what I mean?
I done everything I said I was gonna do. I was laughed at. I was literally laughed at to win that second world title, or when I first came into, I was going to take these 2 world titles down. Laughed at. That's never going to happen. An Irish man even winning the UFC. When I said that, I was laughed at. So I said I was going to win the 2 world titles. I won them. I done everything I said I was going to do. Every move is a calculated step. Make no mistake about that. It's only what? It's only January of 2017. I'm already the face of the UFC. I'm already the face of boxing. I'm already the face of the WWE. And I'm already the face of Hollywood. Yep, yeah! And that's only January. That's only January. But in the media, I stated many times, all the way up is a dream to climb above that cage and raise them 2 belts. That was in every interview I've ever done. So, when I won the fight and they strapped it, that Dennis Siver situation when I grabbed the 2 belts was before I'd even got 1 belt.
Yes.
That's how much the power of visualization, that's how strong the power of visualization is. I wasn't even a UFC world champion at that time, and already I was grabbing 2 of them and flaunting it in everybody's face. I believed it was gonna happen. I put the work in for it to happen, and it happened. So it's a strong thing, the power of visualization. That motherfucker's been a part of my shit since I'm 16. 15, 16, I started trying to play with that. Start trying to visualize things. I used to drive into a car park and try and visualize a car spot right next to the door and try and get that car spot and really try and visualize. I've been playing with that law of attraction and visualization a long time. So since I'm 16, since I first discovered it, if you can see it here, even the other day, I left my home and I was flustered leaving the home. I had to rush before I had to catch a flight here. I tried to rush into town and I was in a hurry, panicking. I got pulled over by the old Bill in a sweat. And then I hit the city centre and then I hit a traffic jam. I'm saying it's like when you feel that rush, or when you feel, you know, it just keeps going and going and going. So I just sit and count to 10, patient, and then everything opened up for me and I rolled through. So I don't know, it's been a part of my life a long time. I've been playing with it. I can't pinpoint an actual moment, but I tell you what, it fucking works.
I know where I came from, and I don't ever want to go back.
Since I first got here, I never stopped working. Today was when all the work paid off, and you know, God put me in a position, and I just try to take advantage of my opportunity.
And sometimes something can be so tough, like can be so hard, right, that you're not gonna understand it. You just gotta survive it, doc. Right? And by surviving it, the lessons come, the blessings come, the perspective comes. Most importantly, and hopefully, the peace comes.
You can't stop. You can't quit. Trust in God, trust in yourself, and step forward. Put 1 foot in front of another.
Every person has the ability to put 1 foot in front of the other.
1 step at a time.
Right? So like if you're saying, okay, I'm going to climb Mount Everest, you're at the bottom of the mountain and you look up and you're going, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest. Right? But if you break it down into sections and you just 1 foot in front of the other, 1 step at a time, next thing you know, you're at the top of the mountain.
A lot of people, man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I ask myself 1 question: can I take 1 more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take 1 more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step.
No matter how much emotion and feeling you may have or how much hurt you may have, life has to go on. Life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you don't process that and understand that, you're stuck in whatever time period you got hurt forever. Forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So grudges and anger and negativity, I don't have time for it because I'm living to do so much positive things.
Right.
I got so much,
Don't bathe
such
in
a
that.
positive outlook on everything else that's coming in the future. I can't stand in the past and bathe in what was wrong.
I woke up one day and stopped making excuses. I woke up one day and stopped playing the blame game. I woke up one day and looked at the man in the mirror and was like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Wake up. It's showtime. Let's go.
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity parties and your pity parades. It's time to take shit to another level. It's game on. It's focus. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you going to do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one was going to miracle me to be somebody special. All my situations were on me now, and solely on me. So I had to start developing an indestructible mental toolbox. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. That ain't happening. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you want to be ordinary, you ain't even got to listen to me. Just go on about your business.
I think one of the hardest things to hear after you don't get your way is keep working. But it's also one of the only solutions to be successful. You're not going to get your way most of the time in your life. Just keep working. Hard work pays off, no one tells you when. You'll never know the true feeling of accomplishment if you've never faced a setback. You'll never know the true meaning of confidence if you've never had to bounce back from anything. Just keep working. You're not getting what you want, keep working. You are getting what you want, keep working. One thing's for sure, overthinking's overrated. Have a great day.
You have to suffer. You have to make that a tattoo on your fucking brain, so when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it.
Hard work brings great rewards. This is a reminder of the hard work and dedication that I put into everything that I've done.
If I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience. And I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard because I got off that treadmill at mile 9 when no one was watching. It would modify my self-story. The commitments we keep to ourselves and what we do when no one's watching is the most persuasive evidence that governs everything we then do every day thereafter. And this is, for me, was a huge revelation in my life because, you know, you can look at certain people in your lives that are struggling in certain situations, and oftentimes it's a result of continually unkept commitments to themselves.
Looking in that mirror every day, you can't lie to yourself, man. That dirty bathroom mirror that with all that daggone toothpaste scum and whatever on it, it's telling you the truth. It's saying, hey man, you are a jacked up cat. And a lot of us have this voice in our head. We all know that voice in our head that tells us the truth every single day that we try to run away from, that says we're scared of this, let's go this way. It started gnawing at me so horribly bad that it wouldn't allow me to live anymore without facing me. I had to go back in the dungeon. So when I tell my story, I tell it on a very surface level. I had to go down in the dungeon, the sewer where my mind used to be at, and talk to that guy. Because I wanted to live my life in a way that when I died, I was proud of myself. I know what pride felt like. And if it took pushing myself to death, I was willing to do that. But I wanted to look in that mirror, not impress anybody, not money, not fame, not nothing. I wanted to impress the guy in the daggone mirror. And I worked endlessly and tirelessly to do that. And it happened.
You cannot change your life unless you change something. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. No matter what it is. Many times you say to yourself, I gotta lose weight, I'm too fat. And then you know what? During the day you eat at night, and the next day you get mad at yourself. Well, what do you want? What do you want? You gotta change something.
You know, I've spent a lot of time in my life sitting around wanting things to change. and not being able to make them change and not thinking I could. And I wish somebody had told me that earlier sometimes. That in order for something to change, there needs to be change. Because yeah, nothing changes and nothing changes, man.
There's a great feeling in these overcoming these difficult things, because life is never this just constant state of I'm at a 9 all day, and when I'm with my wife I hit 10, yay, and I stay like that. That's not real. When it comes down to how long can you stay in that pool, when it comes down to how far can you run, when it comes down to how much can you push yourself past the part where you want to quit, how far can you keep going, there's a purity in that it dissolves social order, all that bullshit, all the what people think about you goes out the window. It's who are you right now?
That's right.
Who are you right now?
That's a true statement, man. And I look at it as psychological warfare. And that's where I started learning that life is one big psychological warfare that you play on yourself. You play on yourself, man. The most important conversation I ever had is with myself. And the shit I was telling myself was so tough, it was so wrong, it was so misguided. And other people start to write that dialogue for you also. And it starts to be what you say to yourself every single day. And I started creating a whole nother warfare, a whole nother battle started becoming. I was like, oh, hang on a second, Goggins. You have these tools.
The human organism, the animal that we are, needs constant stimulation because it evolved trying to find food and escape enemies.
You have these tools. Your life was basically the perfect grounds for training for where you need to go in your life.
And find shelter, escape nature, escape the elements, try to survive. And this is the great joy that you have in taking care of your children, that you can protect your children from the elements and the enemies and feed them. And it's also the great sadness that you see in losers.
All the beatings, all the bullying, all the, you going through learning disabilities, all the struggles. It was the absolute perfect training ground for you to go to where you need to go.
When I see a loser, I see some guy who's 43 years old, lives in his parents' basement, and he hates the world. I'm like, that was a baby. Man, this is a baby that somebody just gave nutrients to, whether it's nutrients in the forms of food or in the form of thoughts and ideas and examples. And this kid developed these horrible, self-defeating patterns of behavior that have led them to this point where they're this middle-aged person with no future and no idea of how to get out of this rut, and probably never will escape it, and might just wind up sucking on a gun. This is the world that we live in today. And I think part of that world is because we have been fed this line of horse that you're supposed to seek comfort. And I don't think you are.
And that's how I started looking at my life versus woe is me, poopy pants, kick a rock down the street mentality. It was, God just hooked you right the fuck up. He hooked you right up, man, with the perfect place. You were training for the first 18, 19, 20, you were training for this stuff, man. You had the advantage of everybody else versus, my God, they're so above me. They came from a great family. Mom and dad love them. They didn't have to learn, they didn't stutter, they didn't struggle. No, man, your struggle is what made you who you are now.
Through that struggle, I will now have a better day, and I better do it again tomorrow or do something else. Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just going to coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit.
So I started flipping this into a whole different, I started being a master of what I was scared of. I was scared of my mind. And I became literally a master of that mind. And that's what from now on, it sets me apart from most people. I started diving into that.
And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a human. You're a human being. You evolved from the hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person.
I watch these movies. I talked about Rocky last time I was on here. I always equated training to mental toughening. Like, it always looked brutal. People waking up early and doing all these things, and it looked horrible. I was like, wow, man, I gotta start doing that. Not to get better, bigger, and stronger, but that is what's gonna build me. That looks uncomfortable. That looks brutal. And getting up early, I don't wanna do that. So I made this long list of things I don't wanna do. And through that, I found myself. I started I'm like, you guys aren't doing this shit in high school. You guys aren't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, running over here in this golf course. So I started seeing myself very differently than the average human being. I was like, hang on a second. I have something they don't have. And that's when I started to develop these things through working out. It was this great, never-ending work ethic. And through work ethic, I developed self-esteem.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
I would say ask her out. No matter who she is, whether she's a job or a new city or a actual person, you know, whether she's an opportunity or a fear, you know, if you're afraid of heights, ask her out. Hey, Heights, what you doing tonight? You know, like whatever she is, man, ask her out.
There is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it. So I can't be content. So there is an understanding, but I refuse to click on the switch of,
So even if you have more money than you'll ever spend for the rest of your life, that's not what it's about.
No.
It's about the inspiring people and the influence and constantly giving back and moving forward in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is to stay active.
It's the story, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book?
David Goggins. I see my name and I see all this shit, and God goes, hey, you say, read this, man. And I'm reading this list and I'm seeing 182 pounds, Navy SEAL, Ranger School, motivational speaker, changing lives. Okay, man, pull up record, all this shit. And I'm like, that's not me, man. And God looks at me and says, that's who you were supposed to be. Whatever the fuck is up there, whatever's going on in life, I want to go up there and not have anything left on the table. I want to drain my soul of every fucking bit of person I am.
To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want.
We don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us, because the very purpose is you.
People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you. Nobody else. It's you.
You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself.
What's important to you? And what's important to you? For whatever reason, you know, I felt like I didn't feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. If I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. Right? So the reason why I can retire now and be completely comfortable about it, because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be. And so that's where it comes from for me. You can't leave any stone unturned.
Nobody handed me nothing. If you want it, go get it.
That's what it takes. To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And if you want it that bad, if you're willing to give it that much, you get a big piece of what you want.
No more fucking around. You want your life to be better? I can't help you. Lee can't help you. Joe Rogan can't help you. Ari can't help you. Only you can fucking help you. Grab your fucking balls, get a fucking notebook, and write down what the fuck you're gonna do this year. And this is it. You're not gonna have these problems. Fuck the drugs. Fuck the cigarettes. It all starts fucking today, all right? No more fucking excuses. That's the fucking, this is the year of the fucking soldier. We're getting back what belongs to us, and that's it.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. That ain't happening. You gotta get real doggish. You gotta get downright funky if you wanna make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you wanna be ordinary, you ain't even gotta listen to me. Just go on about your business.
All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason. I'm gonna say it again because you might have missed it. All men are created equal. Some work harder in preseason.
Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab. Because that's where the knowledge came from.
I have given every single thing, every ounce of my life to this craft, to perfecting my craft, and I continue to do so. And in the process, I have lost my mind to regular society, to people who wake up at 9 a.m., who clock out at 5 p.m. They would look at me and say, I've lost my mind. But me, I have found it.
I'm not gifted. I'm just driven. I want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. I wanted to be the guy. I don't care if you fucking like me. I don't care if you don't understand me. I didn't give a fuck. Once I went through this fucking journey, this path of life, you ain't got, there's a whole bunch of fucking guys that don't fucking like me. I don't give a fuck. I'm a warrior. Period. There's a lot of guys that have been in a lot more combat than me. A warrior's not always that. A warrior's a motherfucker who says, hey, I'm here again today. I'm here again tomorrow. I'm gonna be here the next day. I'm 50 years old. I'm still fucking getting after it. It's a person that puts no fucking limit on what's possible.
If you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing. I can't live that way. From that day forward, I made a promise that I will give it everything I got. I'm ready to die for what I had to succeed. I have to give it everything I got. That way I'm a winner no matter what. Find your impossible. What is it you think is impossible? You could never quite grasp. That's what you have to go after. You don't have a dream, man, you're dead.
You'll only go as far as you dream.
That's it?
I tell that to comics all the time. They're like, I just want to make a living on it. And I'm like, that's all you'll do. You gotta dream big.
Yeah, I think people say that because they're trying to be humble.
Yeah, but fuck.
Universe doesn't reward humility, man. You might can be humble with everybody else, but you gotta tell the fucking universe, hey, I want to be bigger than life.
Yup.
We're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done.
If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret. And that bill from regret is generational.
We all like to take this 4-lane highway, the easy highway. It has fucking signs. It has restaurants. We all love that 4-lane highway. We always step over the shovel. And all I did was I picked up that fucking shovel, and that shovel, I made my own path. And you may have big boulders and shit. They may be getting 200 miles up the road faster than you. But going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult. What comes out the other end of that motherfucker is some glorious shit that you can't even explain to people. And we're afraid. Bottom line is most of us, even the people who have all these theories and shit, It's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. I wasn't made to do that. And yeah, some of us can't be LeBron fucking James. But I'll tell you right now, man, we can do a lot of shit when it comes to this pure arm guts and willpower and getting through shit. We have a lot more than we think we have.
The Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. Every person has the ability to put one foot in front of the other.
One step at a time.
Right? So like if you're saying, okay, I'm going to climb Mount Everest, you're at the bottom of the mountain and you look up and you're going, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest. Right? But if you break it down into sections and just one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, next thing you know, you're at the top of the mountain.
I want to be the guy that people looked at. I don't care if you like me or didn't like, I don't care. But said, this motherfucker is going to keep coming after whatever the fuck is in front of him.
Man, I like to picture God looking down and saying, yeah, but that boy just won't quit. He just, watch him. He'll get back up and he'll get up swinging and he'll try again. He just don't quit. Don't quit. Get off your butt. Get out of those stands. Get in the arena. Get dirty. Get sweaty. Get bloody. Get knocked down. Get back up. Get knocked down again. Get back up. And when people point at you and laugh at your failure, say, yeah, I'm in the arena with a sword in my hand. And you're sitting up there in the stand with a biscuit in yours. Who's more proud?
So you want to be normal. So you just want to be like everybody else that roams the world, not knowing the power that's in them. Being fine with being mediocre.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because do you have anything better to do?
Regardless of how I fucking feel and how depressed I am, the sun is gonna fucking shine in the morning. And at nighttime, the moon gonna be there. And you're gonna look up, these days gonna keep going by. So do you let the days go by and look up and you done wasted a year doing what? Or do you just pick it up? All right. Let's figure it out, made some mistakes, life goes on. You figure out life from this point.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better. And it starts off with, you have to have pride in yourself. You have to have pride in yourself. You have to have, there's something about you, whether it's your last name, whether it's just the smallest thing. You have to be proud of yourself. If you have no pride in yourself, I can't give it to you.
If I can go back to that moment and just not be afraid, just recognize that look, whatever could be out there, I could have it.
When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really doesn't. Because the great thing about life is it's always your next move. The next move that counts. No matter where you are. You could be, look, I was dead broke. My electric bill was being shut off. And obviously there were people even like worse off than I was. It doesn't matter. You can change your life if you want to. It's always your next decision.
No one's gonna fucking come to help me. It's fucking me against me, period.
And so I had to man up. And I said, the first thing I gotta start doing is facing every fucking fear I have. No matter what the fuck it is, man. And I had two options. To either be that 300-pound guy who sprayed for cockroaches and made $1,000 a month. And at 24 years old, knowing when I'm 50 fucking years old, I can reflect on this and think about what guy I never became. Or I can totally just sack it up and fail and fail and fail until I succeed. You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen. So that's why my eyes and my body light up about things, because I know that if you're in a fight, you have to attack. You have to keep attacking. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. You must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of you. I want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. I wanted to be the guy. I don't care if you fucking like me. I don't care if you don't understand me. I didn't give a fuck. Once I went through this fucking journey, this path of life, you ain't got, there's a whole bunch of fucking guys that don't fucking like me. I don't give a fuck. I'm a warrior. Period. There's a lot of guys that have been in a lot more combat than me. A warrior's not always that. A warrior's a motherfucker who says, hey, I'm here again today. I'm here again tomorrow. I'm gonna be here the next day. I'm 50 years old, I'm still fucking getting after it. It's a person that puts no fucking limit on what's possible.
You know, people need to have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There's no 5K, there's no I'm gonna get into school to be this or that, and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's gonna come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose.
I've spent a lot of time in my life sitting around wanting things to change and not being able to make them change and not thinking I could. And I wish somebody had told me that earlier sometimes, that in order for something to change, there needs to be change.
What the hell were you all waiting for to start attacking life? Waiting for the fucking stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. In the military, we had this big old rucksack on the back. Had batteries, water, extra gear. Your extra gear is the shit you're dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're the least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck it the fuck up and do it. But I never thought it was humanly possible to do what I did. I went 70 miles. And at 70 miles, I was dead. I was at 100%. What I thought was 100%. I went 31 more miles after being in the worst physical shape I've ever been in my life. And all that pain and suffering and thing was going through my fucking body as I sat in that tub and the waters hit me. And it was the most amazing feeling of accomplishment. And I want to be numb. I didn't want people to give me drugs and to numb this fucking pain. I did this. And as crazy as it sounds, it was the most amazing moment of my entire life. To come from this kid who was mentally torturing himself and was tortured just all to this guy now, who was able to overcome such amazing odds and obstacles. Running by a graveyard when I was fucking just trying to become, I was fat. And I ran by a graveyard and I looked out there and I have all these epiphanies, man. I have all these fucking moments of like, it's crazy, man, of this thought. I'm always by myself. I always deep fucking thought about how to be better. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfucking been there. Fucking just are so upset with how you live your life. You fucking just
regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro.
Since I first got here, I never stopped working. Today was when all the work paid off, and so God put me in a position, and I just try to take advantage of my opportunities.
Hard work brings great rewards. This is a reminder of the hard work and dedication that I put into everything that I've done. I'm not content because I know where I came from and I don't ever want to go back.
Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you gonna do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one's gonna miracle me to be somebody special. All my situations were on me now. And solely on me. So I had to start developing an indestructible mental toolbox. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more.
No matter how much emotion and feeling you may have or how much hurt you may have, life has to go on. Life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you don't process that and understand that, you're stuck in whatever time period you got hurt forever. Forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So grudges and anger and negativity, I don't have time for it because I'm living to do so much positive things.
Right.
I got so much
Don't bathe
such a
in that.
positive outlook on everything else that's coming in the future. I can't stand in the past and bathe in what was wrong.
You have to suffer. You have to make that a tattoo on your fucking brain. So when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. They ain't happening. You gotta get real doggish. You gotta get downright funky if you wanna make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you wanna be ordinary, you ain't even gotta listen to me. Just go on about your business.
You know, I've spent a lot of time in my life sitting around wanting things to change and not being able to make them change and not thinking I could. And I wish somebody had told me that earlier sometimes, that in order for something to change, there needs to be change.
You cannot change your life unless you change something. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. No matter what it is. Many times you say to yourself, I gotta lose weight, I'm too fat. And then you know what? During the day you eat at night, and the next day you get mad at yourself. Well, what do you want? What do you want? You gotta change something.
I woke up one day and stopped making excuses. I woke up one day and stopped playing the blame game. I woke up one day and looked at the man in the mirror and was like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Wake up, it's showtime, let's go.
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity parties and your pity parades. It's time to take shit to another level. It's game on. It's focused. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with your environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
You can't stop. You can't quit. Trust in God. Trust in yourself.
If I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience, and I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard because I got off that treadmill at mile 9 when no one was watching. It would modify my self-story. The commitments we keep to ourselves and what we do when no one's watching is the most persuasive evidence that governs everything we then do every day thereafter. And this is, for me, was a huge revelation in my life because, you know, You can look at certain people in your lives that are struggling in certain situations, and oftentimes it's a result of continually unkept commitments to themselves.
At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step and they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You're going to answer that question after you take the first step.
Every person has the ability to put one foot in front of the other.
One step at a time.
Right? So like if you're saying, okay, I'm going to climb Mount Everest, you're at the bottom of the mountain and you look up and you're going, I'm not going to climb Mount Everest. Right? But if you break it down into sections, just one foot in front of you, one step at a time, next thing you know, you're at the top of the mountain.
And sometimes something can be so tough, like can be so hard, right, that you're not going to understand it. You just got to survive it, dog. Right? And by surviving it, the lessons come, the blessings come, the perspective comes. Most importantly, and hopefully, the peace comes.
I think one of the hardest things to hear after you don't get your way is keep working. That's also one of the only solutions to be successful. You're not going to get your way most of the time in your life. Just keep working. Hard work pays off, no one tells you when. You'll never know the true feeling of accomplishment if you never face the setback. You'll never know the true meaning of confidence and you never had to bounce back from it. Just keep working. If you're not getting what you want, keep working. If you are getting what you want, keep working. One thing's for sure, overthinking's overrated. Have a great day.
I don't care how good you are in anything, you don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline. Because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
If you pan it down here, you see it's about 3 o'clock in the morning and there's not a car or a person in sight. If you pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person in sight. People want to know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday. Hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting after it every daggone day. Stay hard.
And this thing that people do where they avoid discomfort, it sounds ridiculous, but it just creates more discomfort. You don't realize that in embracing discomfort and forcing yourself to do something very uncomfortable that you can control, like an ice bath, like a sauna, like a run, like a workout, you are eliminating another form of discomfort. I torture myself physically. I'm always working out. I'm always exhausted. I'm always taking ice baths. I was in the sauna before I got here today. I'm always doing something. Always. I never have a day where there's not some kind of struggle. If I have a day where I just lay around, I'm like, this is weird. Like, it's one of the things that I have to do on vacation. When I get up in the morning, whenever I'm on vacation, the first thing I do is work out. I'm like, I gotta do this, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to enjoy this time off with my family. I gotta get up before everybody else, and I gotta work out hard.
If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever wanna be successful.
Look, when you're a kid, you're all potential. It's chaotic potential. It can manifest itself in any number of ways. And maybe you don't want to give that up. So you're like Peter Pan. You want to be a kid forever because you don't want to give up the potential. And you look out in the world and all you see are Captain Hooks, who've lost a hand, who are chased by death because that's the clock in the crocodile. It's already got a taste of him. He's terrified by death and he's a tyrant. Well, I don't want to grow up to be that. So I won't be disciplined at all. Well, that's no good because the way the potential transforms itself into actuality is through discipline.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
It could have been great.
Our minds are like a fucking garage. And the garage, if you open a garage and it's all cluttered up, it's all fucked up, you can't put your car in there. You got fucking boats and you got fucking kids' toys and shit everywhere. But if you organize that fucking garage and you put everything in its rightful spot, you can pull that car in there. You can put 2 cars in there. You can put bikes in there. And that's like with the mind. People talk about discipline and fucking determination and fucking, repetitions and all this shit. Consistency. Why people fall off the wagon so often is because their mind is full of shit. There's no room in that mind for discipline. There's no room for consistency. They may do it once or twice, but then the mind takes over and that cluttered fucking garage comes in, and then it's like a circuit breaker, man. A circuit breaker just overloads and fucking sparks. And our minds, that's our mind, man. It's like a fucking circuit breaker. There's so much shit in it, you keep on loading it, you can't put any more into it. Clearing space in your fucking mind so that you have room for all those disciplines. Waking up early, taking those, because they do mean something. But we don't get to that fucking dark matter that is keeping you from clearing out that mental garage.
And my personal question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
Well, I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay. Nobody does. Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely.
There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit.
Yeah. I don't care how good you are in anything, you don't have discipline, you ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline, because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
I think all of you are here who fought in these wars. You have no idea how big of a deal this is to me. I was not always this strong guy you see. I went through a lot of hard times in my life to get here today. And a story I'll tell you with real quick. I tried once to get in the Air Force to be an Air Force pararescueman. And I quit for fear of the water. I was 175 pounds. I left the Air Force 4 years later at 300 pounds. I went from 175 to 300 pounds. There's a long story in there on how that came to be.
How the 100 men that go into war, 10 shouldn't be there. 80 of them are just targets. 10 do most of, or 9 do most of the fighting. 1 is a warrior.
When someone closes a door in your face, all you have to remember is when God allows them to close the door in your face, all God wants you to do is walk up the hall. It's some more doors. You just got to walk up the hall. Because I can promise you, he got a better door that he wants you to go through than the one that got shut in your face. That's a fact. But what happened to people is they stand there beating on the door. Open it back up. We're gonna do a write-in campaign. Where are you leaving? I gotta have my job. What about my benefits? Hey, stop. The door is closed for a reason.
I'm going to curse the door on you going back. You will never be able to get back to who you were. The people who used to help you will not help you. The people who used to be there wouldn't be there. I'm going to shut the door on you going back to being who you were, and you're going to have to grow up and go forward because I have shut the door on going back. I don't know who I'm preaching to, but I'm talking to somebody. When God really has interest in you, he will shut the door on going back. He will close the Red Sea so you can't miss Egypt and go back for the onions and end up with the handcuffs. We remember the onions of Egypt. We forgot we were slaves. You remember the good things about him, but you forgot the hell he took you through. And God says, I'm gonna shut the door. Oh God, I gotta stop and take a minute and forget about you, because when I start thinking about shut doors, I have to praise him for all the doors that he shut in my life. Thank you for the friends that rejected me. Thank you for the people that said no. Thank you for the people who walked out of my life. If I'd have stopped there, I would have missed my destiny. But every time you wanted to shut a door, it was because you had something better for me. If you understand what I'm saying, give God a praise right now.
Please open it back up. Help me, my family, stop. Go up the hall, man. These people that close doors in your face, they ain't the only door. They ain't the only door. God is the creator of all doors, man. I'ma just go see what else he got for me.
We've all had times where something didn't work out. We didn't get the promotion, the loan didn't go through, a relationship didn't make it. We did our best, we prayed, we believed, but the door didn't open. And the scripture says, God opens doors that no man can shut, and he shuts doors that no man can open. Here's the key. God is your doorkeeper. People can't keep you from your purpose. Obstacles can't stop what God has ordained for you. You may feel like you're behind a closed door in your health. You can't seem to get well. In your career, you're working hard but not getting ahead. In a relationship, things keep falling through. Stay encouraged. Those closed doors are not permanent. The enemy doesn't control your doors. People don't control your doors. Fear, addiction, depression don't control your doors. And I believe you're about to see some doors that have been closed for a long time suddenly open. You can't explain it. You didn't see it coming, but suddenly your health improves. Suddenly you meet the right person. Suddenly your career takes on. What happened? The doorkeeper stepped in. Get ready for some open doors. Now, people may have closed the door, tried to keep you from promotion. How you were raised may have shut the door. You feel like you're at a disadvantage. Forces of darkness may have locked the door, tried to keep you from your healing, from your freedom. It's been that way a long time. Feels like the door is not only shut, but it's locked, deadbolted. You need to get your fire back. Closed doors can't stop you. Locked doors cannot keep you from your destiny. It may seem like the door has closed on your dreams. You'll never get into college, never meet the right person, never have that baby. Every circumstance says it's too late. That door is locked. It's never going to open. You need to get ready. God is about to show out in your life. One touch of his favor, one good break, one contract, one healing, meeting one right person will catapult you to a new level. What I love is even when we lock the door, even when we let fear, insecurity, intimidation cause us to shrink back, God says, that's no problem for me. Fear can't keep me out. Depression can't stop what I have for you. Limited thinking can't hold me back. God overrides every negative force. You may have locked the door, but it's the right time. God is going to come through the door. He's not going to let you miss your destiny. When I came back from college, I worked behind the scenes here at Lakewood doing the television production. I thought that's what I would do the rest of my life. I liked being in the background. I'm naturally more quiet and reserved. But many times, my father tried to get me up to speak. He'd say, Joel, you'd be a great pastor. Why don't you speak for me sometime? I didn't want to get up in front of people. I was afraid and intimidated. I not only shut the door, I made sure it was deadbolted, put a couple chains on it. For 17 years, I made sure that door was securely locked. But when my father went to be with the Lord, God didn't knock on the door to see if I would open it. He didn't ask me for permission. He didn't check to see if it was unlocked. And even though I was still afraid, I felt a strength, a courage, a boldness. Didn't make sense to my mind. How could I step up to speak? I didn't have the training, the experience. Thoughts told me it would never work out. But down in my spirit, I felt this boldness saying, I am strong in the Lord. If God had waited for me to open the door, He'd still be waiting. God is so good even when we close the door. Even when we think of all the reasons why it's not going to work out. Why we can't step up and lead the department. Why we can't get well. At the right time, God's going to come through that door and thrust you into your destiny. Like me, you may have locked some doors because of fear. You feel unqualified, like you don't have the training, the experience, or because of mistakes you've made. Things haven't worked out. Now you've gone years with that door locked, thinking it could never happen. No, your time is coming. God wouldn't have given you that opportunity if you were not well able. The fear may not totally go away, but you're going to feel a boldness rising up. That's the Most High God breathing in your direction. He's about to take you where you can't go on your own. Those doors you locked didn't stop your destiny. God is not going to let fear hold you back. He's not going to let negative words people have spoken over you to keep you locked in. He's not going to let how you were raised, what you didn't get, to keep you from becoming who you were created to be. But don't be surprised when doors open for you that you tried to keep shut. I didn't think I could do this, but God saw something in me that I couldn't see. God sees potential in you. He sees seeds of greatness that you may not be able to see in yourself. He's going to present you with opportunities that seem way over your head. Don't shrink back. You are well able. He's going to bring divine connections across your path. You thought you would always be single. You've already shut that door. Convinced yourself you'll never meet anyone. God is going to come through the door that you closed and bring someone better than you've ever dreamed. I think about how many times I've closed the door. I didn't think something would work out, and God came through my doubt, through my fear, through what I thought was impossible. You may think you're too old to accomplish your dream. Can I tell you, it's on the way. You think it's too late to start your business. It's on the way. You think you'll never live in that nice house. Last time you tried, it didn't work out. It's on the way. You don't think you'll ever get well. You've learned to live with the sickness. The good news is healing is headed your way. You may have closed the door, but God doesn't hold that against you. He's about to come through the door and do something better than you've ever imagined. You may be in a situation where you don't see a way out. It feels like a dead end in your health, your career, a relationship. It's because the door is not there yet. The good news is God is not finished. He's already designed your doors. They're already on your plans. At the right time, that door is going to suddenly show up. Suddenly things shift in your favor. Suddenly the opposition goes away. When you don't see a way, instead of being discouraged, you need to remind yourself, no person can stop your destiny. No bad break, no sickness, no opposition. When it's your time, God is going to open a door that will thrust you ahead. You're going to look back and say, what I thought was a closed door was really an opportunity for God to show out in my life. I thought it was setting me back, but really it was setting me up to go further than I thought possible.
I mean, I'd like to believe I'm not, but I've just never seen any proof, so I just don't debate it anymore, you know? It's like I could spend my whole life debating it over and over again, weighing the pros and cons, and in the end I still wouldn't have any proof, so I just don't debate it anymore. It's absurd. It is if everyone dies alone. I don't want to be alone.
It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
It's the easiest thing in the world to do. All right, man, I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't gonna keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work.
The
I'm
one,
done.
yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yo, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm gonna do the same thing again today, but I'm gonna try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
What would have had to have happened in a week for you to look back on that week with pride? Okay, maybe stop breaking promises to yourself. When you say, I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m., and when the option comes to hit the snooze button, don't do it. There's one win that you've got for the day. That's action.
Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights, sprint the hill, work on the project, get out of bed. Now, as an overall rule, I do not like procrastination. You need to get things done.
So just go and do it, try, learn from it. You'll fail at some things. That's a learning experience that you need so that you can take that on to the next experience. And don't let people who you may respect and who you believe know what they're talking about, don't let them tell you it can't be done. Because often they will tell you it can't be done, and it's just because they don't have the courage to try.
There is a difference between passion and obsession. When you're passionate, everybody cheers you on. They're stoked for you. Oh, you found your passion? Awesome. Follow your passion. Live with passion. Be passionate. Chase your passions. Everything, like passion. Passion's good. Like, the world's gonna be like, yay, passion, right? When you're obsessed, they're like, why you gotta be so crazy? Why can't you be satisfied? Why do you always gotta get things so perfect? Why you spend so much time here? When you're obsessed, people think you're nuts. So it's different. And it's like, I always tell people, if no one thinks you're crazy, you're not yet operating to the outer limits of your potential.
When it comes to like individuality, right? Yeah. What is a good way for people to start to get to know themselves? Does it make sense to you what I'm asking?
Yeah, it does. Well, I keep coming back to something that I tell a lot of people I think is very important, is the desire to know yourself. So people are very good at faking it. And you could be out there in the scene and go, yeah, I kind of want to know myself better. Okay, let me get online and get, they just forget about it because the other forces are stronger than them. You have to have a level, that if you're in recovery, a level of disgust. You have to hit bottom. Yeah. You have to go, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to find out who I am. I want to touch that core of individuality that I know is still within me, that soul that I believe is still there.
The path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people. And rather than fighting that or bemoaning it, see it as an indicator that you're on the right path. Because if everyone else were cheering you on, then it means you're not in the right place, because it means you're just like everyone else, and that's not where you want to be.
The thing is with me is I don't give up.
I don't give a f. I don't give a shit what anybody says or what anybody thinks. I have this mindset. I know exactly who the f I am. I have my circle of people that I hang around with who know me and know what I'm about and whatever. And anybody else who doesn't like it or doesn't want it, fucking bad.
When you walk on that court, you have to think, I am the best guy out there. I don't care if LeBron's playing. So let me ask you again. Do you love this game?
When you were born, you are a phenomenon. You are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experiences with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You are one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that to create a career path.
If you cannot obtain from the world that which you really desire, you must teach yourself not to want it. If you cannot get what you want, you must teach yourself to want what you can get.
This is like confession and atonement. It's the proper way to think about it, is you can think about what it is that you did wrong or insufficiently that led to the collapse of your plan. Right, so that's the first investigation, right? And I'm not trying to be flippant about this, because sometimes people's dreams are quite realistic and they still fail catastrophically. You know, it can be brutal. You know, maybe you did make a lot of good decisions and you suddenly got ill, or someone in your family did, and everything went to hell on you. It doesn't have to be because you've done something cardinally foolish that you fail. You know, it's built into the structure of the world. But it doesn't matter. You can also retreat into yourself and you can say something like, all right, I need to retool my conception of strategy, but also potentially my conception of goal.
You go back into your childhood and you go, what was it that made me so different, that was so weird about me? What was it that I was attracted to? As you go through that process, things will start coming up. It's like you're digging, you're excavating, like you're an archaeologist into your own past.
Yeah, it's like using a brush and brushing off. You see a little bit of bone, and then you're like,
yeah,
what other questions can I ask around here that might help me remove a little more dirt?
Yeah, and memories will come up, like your memory when you were 2 years old and your brother popped up his head. Things will start coming back to you, and you'll start connecting to who you were when you were young, and you're connecting to who you were as an adolescent.
I mean, I'd like to believe I'm not, but I've just never seen any proof, so I just don't debate it anymore, you know? It's like I could spend my whole life debating it over and over again, weighing the pros and cons, and in the end I still wouldn't have any proof, so I just don't debate it anymore. It's absurd. It is if everyone dies alone. I don't want to be alone.
You have to have the desire. If there's no desire there, if you're just mimicking, if you're just saying it just for the sake of it because it sounds good, I can't help you. But if it's still there, yeah, you want to start by, I mean, there are many paths you can take. A very good path is to take a journal and start journaling, right? And writing down your thoughts and writing down your dreams. And when I say that, I say, don't do it on a computer. I mean, I know a lot of young people don't know how to handwrite anymore. But pick up a pen. I still handwrite a lot of things. Pick up a pen and a journal and write it down